So good afternoon, everyone, and a very warm welcome to this, the Barony Hall, a magnificent building and a fantastic day that we're all going to celebrate. I want to start by saying it is a special day for our graduands who sit here, a day you'll remember forever, but it's also a really special day for your friends, your family, your supporters who are with us today. So thank you all for coming, and you are very, very welcome at the University of Strathclyde in this Barony Hall. For those who don't know me, my name is Jill McBride, and I'm one of the Associate Principals of Strathclyde University. And we're delighted as well to see such an international audience with us today. So again, extending a very warm welcome wherever you've come from in the world. And I'm also delighted to say we're joined on the stage by lots of our staff. So we've got staff, academics, we've got people from the executive team, we've got people from the student union, and particularly we've got a number of people from the departments of marketing, management science, and accounting and finance, because that's where the majority of today's graduands have been studying. But it's lovely to see people from other parts of the university. I'm going to tell you what happens today. So in a very short while, each of our graduands, because that's what we call them before they get their degree, their names will be called and they'll come up on the stage and I'm going to cap them. And it's that capping that makes them a graduate of Strathclyde. That's when they become a graduate. And they'll cross the stage, they'll keep walking, and they'll be met by my colleague, Dr. Stuart Fancy here, who's part of the executive team. He's the university secretary, and he'll give them the bit of paper that the employers want to know to prove that you've been capped and that you really are a graduand. So that's the process. That process of capping is a very ancient tradition, and it goes way back to the period of the Enlightenment, which is when our university really started. And it marks that kind of sense of achievement, and it's done in a very public place with friends, family, and supporters around you. So how are we feeling, graduands? How are we feeling? It's a grand setting, isn't it? And we've got all these academics who are looking lovely in their robes and colours. And for most of them, the robes that they're wearing signify the universities and the degrees they studied for. So there's a bit of pomp and ceremony around here. But I don't want you to be too nervous. But I'm going to share something with you. My colleagues behind me who know that I became Associate Principal just in January this year. And before that, I was head of department in the Hunter Centre for Entrepreneurship. So I've been in lots and lots of graduations, and I've sat on the stage with my colleagues like this, but this is the first graduation I've been asked to lead and to preside over and to do the capping. So I've got to be honest, I'm a wee bit apprehensive myself. And I think some of the graduands might be sitting there thinking, I wish I'd worn different shoes, or these robes are really very warm, I wish I'd worn something else. Well, you're not alone. Wee bit nervous the fact that looking at some of you, and I'm going to have to kind of cap you, and you're all a lot taller than me, I think. So you'll have to work with me on that one. And I'm also looking at the lectern, which I'm sure was designed for somebody not of 5'1" and female. So I do hope you can see me over the lectern. But anyway, we're all in this together. It's a celebratory day, and I want everybody to have fun, and I'm sure we will. Once the awards have all been made, then I'll move over to the lectern, and I will give you a bit more information about the university, a bit about our history, and about where we really see ourselves in the world today and some of the exciting things we're doing. And I'll try to keep it relatively short and not eat into your celebrations too much. And once the ceremony is finished, then the new graduates, as you'll be then, are invited to join our academic community and process with us. So just the way we processed in, we'll process out. But what we would like is we'd like to see you, the graduates, join in behind us and we'll move up to the Teaching and Learning building where there'll be refreshments provided. So that's what's going to happen today. So before we go any further, big deep breaths, graduands who are about to come across the stage. Deep breaths, relax, it'll all be fine. And family members, same to you. And I would also say to family members, it is a celebration. So please do clap when your loved ones come across the stage. Cheer if you like. Take photographs. Just don't trip anybody up in the process. But let's have some fun here. Enjoy the ceremony, which I now formally declare open. And I'm going to invite my colleague, Professor John Quigley, who's our Vice Dean, and he's going to take to the lectern, and he's going to present the graduands to you. John.
Associate Principal, in the name of the University and by the authority of Senate, I present to you these students for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy for Research in the Department of Accounting and Finance, Nuthawat Sab Sombat. For Research in the Department of Management Science, Mohammed Nur Abi Sheikh. For the degree of Master of Science in Finance, Shandani Atri. Pankaj Dam Ija. Victoria Chinak Edi. Maitri Kira Gala. Shashank Gaurav. Saravan An Gopal. Jerusa Jones Gotur. Ekanksha Gupta. Siddharth Gupta. Furkan Hashim. Rakshit Jain. Prajwal Ranjendra Moore. Arvind Murug Havel. Esther Nena Noankwo. Varinda Singh Singlani. Adithan Velu Netar Ajan. Athira Vijayan. Gutheo Mai. In International Accounting and Finance, Shira Gangwar. Shivani Palapu. Pranaya Pedin Idin. Abshik Santoshara Salwi. Eshwara Va Sud Divan. Samyak Vipul Vora. In Investment and Finance, Sylvia Adom Beofo. Matteo Bagata. Diksha Bhatt. Pakrati Chowdhury. Janatu Foran. Monthip Jantra Sri. Ranjat Malhotra. Deepak Kumar Manakot. Sanyam Barwal Ila Mut Neja. Akhil Pavis Ran. Oliver Henry Smith. Chen Wang. In economics and finance, Gaurav Ganesh Paki. In business analysis and consulting, Ewas Ahmed. Ethul Jith e Jith Kumar Jaya. Agam Asad. Hariprashkash Bak Anand. Arun Ab Bahaumik. Bahargav Good Bolipali. Babida Boniface Gomez. Joydeep Ashim Kumar Chatterjee. Swapnil Radkumar Dond. Zayad Ayman Elbaz Alagurudi. Amalin Asha Emmanuel Thomas. Gananesh Eram Seti. Mahtab Farhan. Vinay Gundu. Samir Jyoti Hazarita. Heotian Jia. Sanjith Joy. Chirag Khan Chikeri Math. Pavan Kumar Reddy Kadulula. Namrata Kothari. Sreya Kul Shireth A. Gokul Anand Kishore Man Chiraju. Nikitha Man Galarapu. Pramad Mangatur. Fatima Masood. Manish Rajendra Mathnikar. Colin Dwayne Mendonca. Priyanka Rakesh Moore. Vaishnavi Prakash Mudalia. Hilary Frances Mugisha. Salmania Mujib. Ankush Anilkumar Nandan. Karishma Narang. Akshari Nataraj. Thithu Quinn Nguyen. Yanisa Nita Saropas. Onome Sandri Odegi. Osokan Pineal Okpono. Deepak Hansa Pandi. Abhijit Madan Patil. Callum Ross Clark Perry. Pradeep Poduru. Jess Divyan Pradeep. Mohammed Masir Rahman. Vipin Kumar Rahit. Tanuj Rejada. Gladwin Anthony Ranjit Wilson. Anston Jithan Saldanha. Baba Prashkas Reddy Samala. Shravya Samala. Sharon Reddy Sarava Agari. Deepanshu Sharma. Triveni Raghunath Shetkar. Yasashri Rahas Shetty. Rishab Shivastava. Ankit Kumar Singh. Syed Kamran Abdul Mujib. Konstantinos Silamikas. Rashmas Umadevi. Umar Yosef. Sanjay Ram Venkata Chalam. Anirudh Venugopalan. Gurinaga Venkata Se Anjani Yera. Zubeo Jiao. In data analytics, Kesava Lahari Golamudi. Vignesh Gopal Golamudi. Se Krishna Gunti. Manoj Se Lan Kepele. Avneet Thakur. In digital marketing management, Maria Ishmael. Sophie Katharina Gilliard. Manav Basant Paureka. Nur-e Sifat. Farazuddin Nasimuddin Syed. In marketing, Shivani Hasti Avulamanda. Raja Chowdhury. Shenyu Cheng. Aditya Dangi. Rishiraj Das. Lakshan Dhiraj. Prakthisha Dasilian Ge. Raghav Dugal. Catherine Anna Dunbar. Pallavi Dutta. Saloni Gosavs. Sarang Sripad Joshi. Shalak Joshi. July Fu. Vipul Vijay Kajel. Ozan Kara Ogulari. Adarsh Vikash Koshik. Ken Yadanar U. Tazu Shia Lo. Mohammed Jahanzeb Malik. Hamayun Manan. Eldon Jervis Matthews. Eshwari Mishra. Rohan Merherji. Adan Balaji Murali. Kavyanjali Murali. Vishwash Nanda. Nguyen Con Lee. Nguyen Thi Pyong Teo. Carl Malton Migiano Nieto. Craig Davis Ogbert. Nikhil Vinaykumar Panser. Mufadal Zuvikar Zampurawala. Ragavi Ravikumar. Madhushri Ravisha. Nazmas Sakib. Aishwarya Satyan. Almas Anwar Hussain Shaki. Sabashabhir Sheikh. Shefali Sharma. Adityar Karunakar Shetty. Vicky Remerio Simos. Harshazdeep Singh. Prithvi Mukesh Singh. Vedansh Surej Singh. Suhail Subhani. Muhammad Zohair Tayab. Pranaya Tipati. For the degree of Bachelor of Arts in Business Enterprise, Siren Lee. For the degree of Postgraduate Diploma in Marketing, Sharanya Prathap Ravi Prathap. For the degree of Master of Science in Business Analysis and Consulting, Bhuvaneshwari Hariharan.
Well, graduates of 2024, because that's what you are now. You've come across the stage and you are graduates. And for you, your difficult bit is over. You can relax. You made it across the stage, going from graduand to graduate. And I have to say, some of you in heels that I feel I need to salute you for, so well done. I make light of it, but I know crossing this stage marks the accumulation of years of hard work and dedication for our graduates. So before we go any further today, I really want to ask you all to join me in offering our heartfelt congratulations to our graduates of 2024. And I think as an audience, you've done very well as well with the clapping and the cheering, so that's good to see. All of our graduates here today have shown great commitment, resilience, adaptability, and determination to arrive at this day. Something that you might not know is that you're actually participating in Strathclyde's first ever spring graduation ceremonies. This is a new thing for us. And we've scheduled these ceremonies in addition to our normal summer and winter ones to make it easier for students who started their studies in January last year, and lets them celebrate their achievements with families, friends and supporters. So you're a first in that respect. You're also a special group because you're the first cohort of students to be graduating in 2024. And 2024 is a special year for us at Strathclyde because it's our Diamond Jubilee anniversary year. And that marks 60 years since the award of the Royal Charter by the late Queen Elizabeth II, which conferred university status on our institution. And it was through this Royal Charter that made what was the Royal College of Science and Technology transition to become the University of Strathclyde, the first university to be established in Scotland for nearly 400 years. So we'll talk a little bit more about history in a second, but before we go on to that, graduates, I know that your family, friends and supporters have undoubtedly played a crucial role in your journey. So let us take a moment to acknowledge, applaud, cheer if you like, but to say thank you very much for all your family, friends and supporters that are in today's audience. Good, you're warming up. Okay, and likewise, I know how hard our dedicated staff have worked to provide you with the exceptional education and student experience that I hope you've all had. So graduates, can we also take a moment to say thank you to our staff? I said right at the start that once this ceremony concludes, we'll leave the hall in an academic procession, and we want you to join that procession, signifying that you're now full members of the Strathclyde academic community. And that community, since our Royal Charter, numbers almost 210,000 people across the world. So I'm sure you'll find the same, but whenever I travel in the world and I'm in different places, there's always a Strathclyder somewhere in the company I'm visiting or at the meeting I'm attending. And I hope you'll find the same. And as esteemed members of this community, you join a long line of alumni who have gone on to excel in their chosen fields. Now, if you've been around Strathclyde for a while, you might be familiar with some of the kind of big names that we talk about a lot. So David Livingstone, being one of the kind of people who really started our journey of the university. So David Livingstone, physician, missionary, explorer. Some of you might also be familiar with the fact that John Logie Baird, the pioneer of television, was a Strathclyder. And if you come from the business school, you're probably very familiar with Sir Tom Hunter, entrepreneur, philanthropist, and long-time supporter of Strathclyde. That's where the Hunter Centre for Entrepreneurship gets its name. But today, I want to mention some Strathclyders who have come across the stage, just like you have today, that maybe we've not heard their names, but people who I think have taken Strathclyde's entrepreneurial spirit and gone out into the world and are really making a difference. So I'm going to mention some of these people, and I hope you'll look out for some of these names. Now, the first one is a name that some of you might have heard of, particularly if you like football. So Andy Roxburgh, OBE, and he formerly was the Scotland men's football team manager. So some of you might have heard of Andy Roxburgh. But what you might not know is that he was a graduate of Strathclyde. He was a teaching graduate. And now he's the technical director of the Asian Football Confederation. So some of you could look out for him there. A few other names. Dr. Leslie Stretch, former president and CEO of software services company Medallia. He was an economics and social history graduate. Or Dr. Mark Travers, who's global head of monitoring excellence at pharmaceutical company Merck & Co, is a biochemistry and bioengineering graduate of Strathclyde. Look out for the name Dr. Pauline Burke, who was a computer science graduate, who's head of data science at Apple, particularly working on Siri. Or Emma Reevey is a name that you should look out for. Emma was a graduate of Strathclyde in European Studies and Languages. And you might have seen her on the television or on the radio. She's CEO at the Trussell Trust, which is an organisation that's trying to make sure that people aren't going hungry in the UK. And I very much hope that some of you guys who are graduating today will also be mentioned in speeches to come, because you'll go out and you'll make a difference in the world. So I said I was going to touch on history, and I've already mentioned that we're celebrating 60 years of our Royal Charter. But Strathclyde was founded an awful lot earlier than that. In fact, it was 1796, during the Scottish Enlightenment, and it was through a bequest of Professor John Anderson that we really started our journey as a education establishment, then a university. And John Anderson believed in knowledge for all for the greater good, and he wished to establish a place of useful learning. And I truly believe that we've remained faithful to that founding principle, which continues to guide us today as we strive to make a positive impact on society and the world. You've probably heard it said that we're a research-intensive university, and we're committed to creating new knowledge to tackle the challenges of our times. And we do that through groundbreaking research, and we're striving to really kind of make a difference in the world. Again, you might have seen on billboards, and you might have heard other people mention, that in the recent Research Excellence Framework, which is the UK government's system for assessing research quality, almost 90% of Strathclyde's research was assessed as world-leading or internationally excellent. Strathclyde also had the second highest impact quality profile in Scotland, demonstrating the effect our research has on everyday lives in the real world. So that kind of place of useful learning, again, coming out. And our research and our impact are wide-ranging. Our scientists, our researchers are leading in the development of innovative technologies that will facilitate the transition from fossil fuels to the clean, sustainable energy sources such as wind, solar and hydrogen that will power our future world and tackle climate change. We're developing new drugs, and we're using digital manufacturing processes that will help to provide cheaper, more effective treatments in the fight against cancer, liver diseases and inflammatory diseases. But we're also helping our health services to evolve and to face some of the challenges we've got in health and social care in the current environment. Now, one of the things that I really love about Strathclyde is the fact that Strathclyde, we encourage people to work across traditional disciplines. And we recognise that in order to increase the diffusion and adoption of new technologies, we need to embrace and pull in our expertise from the business school and from social sciences. So whilst many of my colleagues on the stage come from the business school and are expert in their fields of business, they're also working across disciplines and working with the scientists and engineers to make sure that these kind of new ideas and innovations that we come up with actually get out into the world and make a difference. So that's something that I very much celebrate. You'll also hear us talk a lot about entrepreneurship at Strathclyde, and that's something I'm also passionate about, and a lot of the people on the stage are also passionate. And we started a thing called Strathclyde Inspire. And Strathclyde Inspire is really the wrapper where we're saying we want to encourage entrepreneurial mindsets in all our students and all our staff. And I'm sure many of you who have crossed the stage today will have been involved in some entrepreneurial education or entrepreneurial activities. Yes, some of our students go on to start businesses, create jobs, support economic growth. But for me, I really believe that that kind of entrepreneurial mindset, it doesn't have to be all about starting a business. For me, entrepreneurship is about training people to be able to recognise opportunities, to be able to gather resources and really make things happen, make a difference, that place of useful learning, which fits so well with Strathclyde. Which is exactly why, when I was talking about some of our alumni, I talked about, yes, some people that went on and started successful businesses, but also people who have done great things in organisations and social enterprises. So I hope the graduates that are leaving us today embrace that entrepreneurial spirit. An example of that entrepreneurial spirit is Strathclyde are leading the revitalisation of the part of the city that we're in today. And we're doing that through the Glasgow City Innovation District, which brings companies, in fact, round about 1,600 companies I'm talking about, large companies, small companies, and we encourage them to come in and work with the university to create new ideas, new technologies, and solutions to a range of problems. And some of the key clusters, the research clusters that we're working with these companies in, include things like health tech, fintech, 5G, industrial informatics, space, and quantum. And a lot of the activity is based in the university and some of it down in our Technology and Innovation Centre, which is down on George Street. And in the very near future, we're going to be creating another innovation centre. This time, we're going to name it in honour of one of our most successful alumni. And that is businessman Dr. Charles Huang. And again, those of you familiar with Strathclyde might have seen this in the news or heard us talk about it, because Charles Huang donated £50 million to Strathclyde, an extremely generous gift and our largest ever. And he did this in recognition of the role that the university had on his success. Now, Charles's business, he was involved in developing and rolling out manufacturing. The tests that we were all doing during COVID, we've all done it, we've all used them, and you can see the scale of that activity, and it obviously made a lot of money, which he's given some back to us. Now, 30 million of this gift will be used to transform what was the Students' Union back in my day in John Street, and we're going to turn that into a new innovation centre that's going to be really key in this innovation zone that we've got here. And we're going to hopefully attract more businesses to co-locate within the university so that we can work together to improve productivity, to develop new talent, to develop new research and technology, and really kind of power up the economy. The remainder of Charles's gift has also enabled us to create 2 new professorial chairs, along with associated research assistants and welcoming new PhD students to the university. And we're doing that in honour of the late Professor Stephen Young, who was a pioneer in the field of marketing and international business. And Stephen Young was somebody who helped establish our Department of Marketing in Strathclyde that some of you have graduated from today. And Stephen Young was Charles Huang's PhD supervisor and mentor during his studies. And one of the things that Charles said to us when he gave us the money was, he said, it was fantastic that I was able to go back to the university and back to Stephen Young and get advice in my career as I progressed through my career. And that was something that he felt was very, very important in making him the success that he is. So again, I hope some of you keep in touch with your supervisors and the people who are on the stage today. Charles Huang's money is also supporting entrepreneurial activity. It's supporting students through merit scholarships, and all in Professor Stephen Young's name. Now, we've got another major innovation district. We've got the one that's in Glasgow City Centre, but we've also got one that's out towards the airport. And that's what we call the Advanced Manufacturing Innovation District Scotland. And that's where we operate the National Manufacturing Institute Scotland. And the people who do know me and know my research is very tied to manufacturing. So that's somewhere I love to spend time. And I get excited because what happens out there, again, it's that kind of useful learning. Because a lot of what they're doing is helping manufacturing companies to embrace new technology and become more competitive. So I think that's a really exciting place to work. And we're also partners too in the Medicines Manufacturing Innovation Centre, and it's just across the street from NMIS, the Manufacturing Centre. And again, that's doing great things to bring about new, more affordable, more effective medicines. But Strathclyde also works to inform public policy. You know, the business school, we do a lot of advising on national economic strategy, on education, productivity, and workplace strategies through various research institutes. An example of that would be our Centre for Sustainable Development, where globally minded staff and students are working to co-create solutions with our global partners across academia, civil society, and the public and private sectors. And we're doing that really to kind of bring about change and also to address the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. We talk about those a lot here at Strathclyde. And in pursuing our vision of doing useful things and to be more sustainable, we understand that the value of working in partnership, because one of our values at Strathclyde is all about collaboration. So we work with other people, we work with businesses, we work with governments, we work with policymakers, and we also form academic partnerships. And we've got strong partnerships with people all over the world, including universities like Stanford, NYU, MIT, Caltech, Nanyang Technological University, and the National University of Singapore, to name just a few. But coming back to our campus that you guys know, anybody who's walked around today, friends and family who have walked around the campus, will have seen that we've been investing recently in new buildings and refurbishing buildings. And as a university, we're continually investing in that campus to enhance the student experience. So you might have noticed we've got a big new Strathclyde sport building and our teaching and learning building that's completely refurbished a building that was already there. And we do that at the same time investing in health and well-being services, because we're always putting the students at the heart of everything that we do. And the thing is, our progress and our efforts in doing all these things, I hope, is appreciated by the students, but it's also recognised with a host of awards. And let me blow our own trumpet a little for a second, because a number of awards I want to draw your attention to. So in 2019, we became the only university to win the Times Higher Education UK University of the Year twice, because we first won it in 2012, and that was Strathclyde, a first. We've also been named Business School of the Year, Workplace of the Year, and Research Project of the Year in recent years. And Strathclyde was named Scottish University of the Year 2024 and runner-up in the UK University of the Year in the inaugural Daily Mail University League tables. And Alistair McCall, who is the person behind these league tables, and he used to run the Sunday Times Good University Guide. This is a new set of rankings that he's pioneering. He was recently at Strathclyde, and I'm going to quote what he said about Strathclyde. He said, "Strathclyde is the epitome of a progressive 20th century university, seeking to shape and change society for the better through the pursuit of educational excellence and social change, and still a place of useful learning, just as it set out to be more than 200 years ago." So that's somebody else saying that to us, but something that we value very, very much. Strathclyde was also named European Entrepreneurial University of the Year at the EEE Awards back in June. And only last month, our principal was down in London collecting the 4th Queen's Anniversary Prize in recognition of our research, innovation and entrepreneurialism in the area of photonics, which is the science of light. So all these rewards reflect the quality and breadth of our activities across the university. Now, I've already said that a lot of the staff that are on the stage today come from the business school, because that's where a lot of you were graduating from. So I want to just pick out a couple of highlights from the business school, and perhaps people that you might know, perhaps people that might be sitting on the stage. And the first thing I want to mention is that Strathclyde Business School was named amongst Europe's top 90 business schools in 2023 in the Financial Times rankings. And we were one of only 14 schools from the UK that got into that rankings table, which is actually a mean feat when you consider quite how many business schools there are across Europe. So we were very pleased at that. Another thing that look out for, please do look out for it in the news. Strathclyde is a partner in something new, a new initiative around financial regulation, and we're running a financial regulation innovation lab. And this initiative will champion the frontier of financial regulation and harness cutting-edge technologies to help create jobs and business opportunities. And I wasn't entirely sure what that was until last week I had the pleasure of joining some colleagues at a fintech event through in Edinburgh. And I realised actually how important this innovation lab is, because it's tapping into this entrepreneurial spirit, and it's getting graduates and researchers to look at some of the challenges we face in the financial sector. And yes, that's going to help financial companies, but it's going to help all of us, you and I, because we all want to make sure that when we're doing financial transactions, that they're safe, secure, and easy to do on our mobile devices, and that we feel safe in that. So there's some really interesting things going on there. A couple of other awards, names that you might know. I'm not sure if he's with us today, but Professor Kerem Arkantunali from Management Science. He was recently appointed to the Management Committee of the Isaac Newton Institute. And that's a leading national research institute for mathematical sciences and their application around a wide range of technologies. So again, that's a big honour for Kerem. Another couple of people who I have seen on the stage with us today, Professor Beverly Wagner and Dr. Natalie McDougall, who are with us from the marketing department. They recently got funded from the UK government through the Interact network to do some work helping small to medium-sized manufacturing companies to embrace digital technology. And they're doing that through encouraging open innovation, which makes it more accessible for small and medium-sized firms. And it's lovely to see that they're doing that in partnership with the National Manufacturing Institute for Scotland. So again, it's that kind of useful research making a difference in business. And these are just a few examples of some of the wide-ranging successes we've had in the business school recently. So lots to celebrate. But I want to say a few words about the future, because really today is all about new starts. It's not just about looking at your graduation as something that's gone past. It's about starting on a new journey. So you're looking forward to a new chapter in your lives, and you're going to take that knowledge and skills you've acquired during your time with us, and you're going to pursue your aspirations. And as you forge your new careers, the university's values of being people-oriented, innovative, collaborative, ambitious, and don't forget bold will stand you in good stead. In recent years, the world has been shaken by the coronavirus pandemic, while the cost of living crisis and armed conflict continue to create uncertainties. And of course, the biggest challenge that we're all facing, that of climate emergency. These challenges demand solutions, and as graduates of Strathclyde and the future leaders of our society, wherever you end up, you have the responsibility to use your talents and your education to make a positive impact on the world. So whether you go on and pursue careers in business, in science, engineering, politics, any other field, remember you have the power to affect change, to inspire others, and to shape the course of history. But with power comes responsibility. So again, I urge you to never lose sight of the values that have guided you thus far. So integrity, humility, empathy, these are the qualities that will set you apart as you navigate the challenges and opportunities that lie ahead. As you step out into the world, which you're going to do today, you carry with you the knowledge and skills that you've acquired during your time at Strathclyde. But more than that, you carry the spirit of Strathclyde, a spirit which I hope is one of innovation, collaboration and excellence. And don't forget that. Strathclyde is also an institution where freedom of thought is encouraged and valued, an institution exemplified by tolerance and inclusivity. And we hope you will continue to demonstrate Strathclyde's socially progressive values, an ethos of tolerism, pluralism, and a desire to make a positive difference. And I'm confident that you will do this as you go out into the world and you're equipped with one of the most powerful assets, that of knowledge. And the Strathclyde degree that you now hold in your hands is the start of your passport to success as you rise to meet the challenges ahead. So as you embark on this new chapter of your lives, I would also encourage you to continue learning, to embrace new challenges. Remember, it's not just the pursuit of knowledge, and it's not just about the success of what you achieve, but it's the impact that you make on the world and the people around you. So please do bear that in mind. So it is with immense pride that we see you graduate today. And though you may be leaving us, we hope you're going to stay in touch with us. Let us know how you're getting on. Continue to contribute to the Strathclyde community. I, for one, as a Strathclyde academic, I love it when a student emails me and tells me what they're doing and wants to start a conversation. Don't be scared to keep in touch with the academics that you've got to know during your time at Strathclyde. So, as I conclude, I would like to once again thank the faculty and the staff of Strathclyde for their unwavering commitment to excellence, to their dedication in helping graduates achieve their full potential. I want to say thanks once again to the families and friends of our graduates. Thank you for that unwavering support and encouragement. And I also want to say thank you to the staff who work behind the scenes at these graduations, because there's a lot happens to make this such a special day, and there's people that are telling us where to be in the right place at the right time, so thank you to them. And to finish, I really want to congratulate our new graduates. Well done in this milestone achievement. I have no doubt that you'll make us proud. So go forth with confidence, with purpose, and with the knowledge that you're capable of great things. So I wish you every success in the future. Okay, so now we can go party and celebrate. Well done, everybody. Well done, everybody. I'm looking to the back of the hall. We've got the thumbs up, which means that we can have a procession that will go up to the Teaching and Learning building. So, graduates of 2024, I would like to invite you to join the academic procession. As the piper starts to play, I'll start the move, and the staff will follow on behind me. And then if the students follow on behind us, we can meet up in the Teaching and Learning building, hopefully for some refreshments. And I'm aware that some of you won't be able to partake of refreshments today, but please do still join us, come and chat to the academics. And for just now, I'm going to formally declare this congregation closed. And I would ask that the families please be upstanding as the procession leaves the building, and then you follow on behind us. So thank you very much, everybody. Have a lovely day.